Okay, so I'm trying to record this again now. Unfortunately, I had made a lot of changes on the video, and I had lost them, so I'm just going to go over them really quick. So the first thing I did was I set Syria and Russia to computer side only. So if you load the scenario now, it'll no longer prompt you uh, to select a side of the United States. Uh, Another thing I did was create a box, or sorry, a circle, area defined circle. Right click, define area, and created one. And then I made an exclusion zone for both Russia and Syria. So anything that's showing up in this area will be shot at. I did the same for Syria. Additionally, for the Russian side, I noticed that I tested the SA-21 patrol, and unfortunately that didn't work, but I do want to keep the location random, so more on that later. I renamed the target bunker to target, and I set readiness times of aircraft accordingly, and the same for AWACS. Although I don't believe that it's possible for an AWACS to be sniped anytime soon. I haven't gone through the scenario, so who knows. If I hit F5, I bring up the magazines. I've decided to leave the two ammo bunkers, and I filled them with weapons. Just a quick refresher on how to do that. You select an ammo bunker, and then you add weapons. I kept show only weapons compatible for these aircraft selected, and I just found compatible weapons to the systems I was using and added the selected weapon. And I did that for my Su-30s and Su-35s. Then on to the American side, I probably added too many Tomahawks. 158. That's two Arleigh Burkes with 79 Tomahawks each, which I believe is how many they normally would have in their land attack configuration. And I added a squadron of 24 F-35 Lightnings, the 2019 model. And these are the F-35As, so their standoff weapon of choice is the small diameter bomb. Then they've got a few bunker busters, and they have a few air superiority fighters. Now, those are the rough changes that I made here. I don't think there was anything else. Oh yeah, Syria, I did the same thing with a no-fly zone around them. Now, for the radars, I have the Big Bird and the Billboard, I believe. This is the S300 radar, and this is the S400 or SA-21 radar. Very long range, very powerful. Now, of course, F-35s will not operate alone. However, I do want them to operate without any direct battlefield assistance. That being said, I do want to create sort of a patrol pattern for either AWACS or ELINT aircraft, and I'm going to give the player some of those and some escorts that aren't going to reach much further, but they can at least escort them on station. However, I think with the SA-21 here, that I will need to bring them back quite a bit further, which I will do. Now, of course, the player would not know that, but they would know that the SA-21 has a range of 215 miles, and therefore they want their patrol to be about 225 miles away from the coast just to be safe. And I'm going to add some support aircraft in Turkey. I know there are probably closer air bases, but this one being further away is preferable. So what I'm going to add is an EC-130, an RC-135, an E3. I don't know if I honestly don't even know if I want an E3. I'm thinking I do. It's hard to say. I'll add it. I could always decide to not keep it. Really what I want though is the rivet joint, and I will go over that in a little bit as to why. So I'm going to save this here and ready up these aircraft. Okay, so if I go to the US side, I'm sorry, the Russian side, just going to make sure that they are in fact going to behave exactly the way I want them to. All these interceptors are assigned to a mission. All of these aircraft are assigned to a mission. Assigned to mission. Great. Editor. That is the CAP patrol area. Intercept will go out to 100 miles, which is roughly the tip of Cyprus. And the AWACS will patrol that area. Great. Now on to the American side. Another thing I added was AMRAAMs and GBU 39s, a lot of them, and a few bunker busters. And these aircraft, of course. So the idea is that we will find the radars when they emit, and we will then destroy the radars. Now there's a few other things we want to do before we want to start testing out anything. So we're going to create some events. Create a new event. So we're going to edit some triggers. So unit is destroyed. The US aircraft. So basically every single US aircraft in this scenario is going to cost over $100 million. The F-35 possibly is the most, the least expensive. So I'm just going to do aircraft lost, or US aircraft destroyed. Normally, I would recommend that people put in a heavier price if someone were to lose, say, an AWACS than a fighter, but in this case, just aircraft destroyed is sufficient. And then I'm going to do Russian aircraft destroyed. And all of their fighters are 5th generation. The only exception being their AWACS is going to be very safe, I think. So I'm not really sure we want to make a separate one just for AWACS. Let's see. Russian SA-21 destroyed. I'm going to do another Russian SA-21 radar destroyed. Is it the billboard or the big bird? I might need to edit that again. Let me check. Ugh. Billboard is the SA-23. 135 knot. Okay, so it's the big bird. Russian SA-23 destroyed. Land facility. Mobile vehicle. Russian SA-23 radar destroyed. And we're going to do Russian HQ destroyed. Now I am thinking of making additional targets, but I just haven't got around to doing it yet. I can always add them in later. So I'm thinking that what we want to do now, start editing some actions. So we're going to do a point system. So we're going to do 10 points. $100. Negative 100. Let me just make sure it was 10. Yep, USA. USA. All right, so we're also going to do $200. Okay. So now, Russian aircraft destroyed, we're going to add. Going to make this repeatable, and it's only going to give us 10 points. Create a new event. U.S. aircraft destroyed. Negative 100 points. Oh, and repeatable. Create new event. So Russian SA-21 destroyed. Event is repeatable. SA-21. And I'm going to hold the radar to the same level. It is a pretty serious radar. 100 points. Another event. Russian SA-23 destroyed. These are just not as lethal as the others, so I'm hesitant to put a... I'm going to make another point system here, 50. I think it's more dangerous than an aircraft, but it's not as dangerous as... We're going to do hardened structure or target Russian command center destroyed. And 200. We can always adjust that later. Alright, now the first thought that I have is that I probably had given the US too many Tomahawks. But we're going to test it out and see how we do, and then adjust from there. So in the next video, I will go through how to test this scenario out and adjust it from there, which I'm sure I didn't get it right on the first try. So we will adjust it after, and then after we play through it, we will decide how difficult it is, how we can make it harder, easier, less complex, more complex, or anything of the sort. All right, we'll catch you guys later. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be doing more command content as I can do it. All right, thanks for watching.